Hey, welcome back to the B2B Marketing Gap podcast with me, Jade Tambini. I'm going to share with you today some of the times I felt at my crappiest with marketing and hope that you feel less alone by hearing that no one is perfect, everyone gets stuck, and you're not alone. You might know me as B2B Jade from TikTok. I'm also a podcaster and I'm the founder and course leader for B2B Breakthrough Academy, my 6-module marketing strategy course designed to help frazzled and overwhelmed marketing managers make sense of strategy and put their own in place. First, I'm going to share some of the times when I felt the most crap about myself as a marketer, and then I'm going to share how I overcame those things and give you some confidence as to why you absolutely are not bad at marketing. And really, it's more about the systems that are in place and the way that your organization is approaching marketing that's leading you to feel like you're the problem when actually you're really not. I'm going to break down the biggest signs that you're a great marketer. So make sure you listen to the last part of this video so that you can remind yourself of all the reasons that you got into marketing in the first place. And as always, my channel is not about making you feel worse about yourself or making you feel stupid. You will never hear any jargon. You'll never hear scary models. Marketing is way less complicated than a lot of people make it out to be. And I truly believe that the biggest reason that we're feeling stupid and dumb and we're getting imposter syndrome is quite simply because we are surrounded by models, acronyms, fancy influencers talking about things we don't understand and feel like we should, and we're losing sight of what marketing really is. So the first time that maybe I was failing at marketing, and that could have led me to feel like I was bad at it, was when I was trying to get into marketing in the first place. I was working in sales. I dropped out of art college and I desperately wanted to work in marketing. It was all I wanted. Now, at this point, I didn't feel any imposter syndrome. I was confident, cocky, I knew it all, and that definitely got me in trouble at times. So I probably should have felt like I was bad at marketing because I'd never done it before. But my blind optimism and my passion for marketing and for learning about it pulled me through. I was rejected from countless job interviews, applying for entry-level jobs, but because I didn't have a degree and because I didn't have any marketing experience at all, the general feedback was, you can't work in marketing. There's not really much point. You'd need to go away, get a degree, or find a way to get experience. It just goes to show you that even if you are in the same position as me, you can still make it in a career in marketing. Or if you have a degree, if you've got prior experience, you're already in a much better position than I was. I could easily have internalized that and had a limiting belief about myself at that point. But something about that passion kept me going. So if you have ever felt passion for a career in marketing, excitement about working in the field, maybe it's dwindled away by this point. I know a lot of marketing managers, once they've been in corporate for a number of years, they feel like that spark has gone. But let me tell you, if you've had it before, it exists. It will push you forward even when everyone around you is telling you can't, rejecting you. So I know rejection. One of the reasons I think I was okay with being rejected by tons of interviews is that in my sales job, I made 100 cold calls a day with people telling me not to call them again, telling me I was useless, telling me to go away. And I just grew a thick skin. It was normal. I think when that's your first experience of the working world, then you just develop a tough skin, and it's quite normal for someone to say no. But then to have the tenacity to continue with those calls and continue pushing doors open. And I wonder if, had I not been in sales, maybe I just would have completely given up. So try and remember that even if you try to go for something, maybe you try a marketing campaign and it falls flat and it doesn't work, or you make a really big mistake at work, that does not mean that you can't be great at marketing, that you aren't inherently great at marketing. Once I finally got into marketing, I just worked so hard. Marketing was my life. I was crazy about it. It's all I wanted to do. And many years went past where I was working hard and progressing forward. But there was an incident that I remember in a first marketing and advertising job that I had where I came crashing down to earth. I went home crying, feeling like I was useless at marketing and wanted to quit. This was in about 2009. And I had taken a job. It was a very short-term job. I was feeling really good about myself. I'd been good at selling and I thought I was going to be really good at this as well. And I was kind of swaggering around in this office and bantering with the sales team because that's what I was used to. And I had a lift home from one of the sales colleagues and he was like, hey, you think you're pretty great, don't you, Jade? And I was like, I am. Like, did you see my numbers? Like, did you see what I've been working on? And he was like, you seriously, like, you need to have a word with yourself. It was so embarrassing the way you were strutting around, making out like you're really big and trying to put other people down. I was like, I wasn't trying to put other people down. But he really like knocked the wind out of my sails. I'd never had someone try to knock me down. And because some of the things that he'd been saying about my performance that he'd mentioned within that were in fact accurate, it all felt true to me. And so it just really hit me. Maybe I'm not good at this. Why did I think I was good at this? Oh my gosh, I'm a failure. And I cried myself to sleep for like 2 days and basically could never go near that person again in the office. Fun story. Okay, so now I do feel really bad at marketing because I failed to empty my memory card on my main camera. So this is my secondary angle for my YouTube videos. And now we're going to have to film the remainder of the video on this one camera. And the lighting is not going to look great. So I'm just going to have to roll with it and hope that you don't mind the lower quality. Let's see if we can make this work. Right, we're just going to have to go with this, with the shadows and everything. Anyway, that brings me on nicely to perfectionism. As you can see, I am not happy with the shadows. Long way to go with my production, but whatever, we're still here. So yeah, perfectionism can definitely be the driving force behind this need to feel like we can really do it, that we're really good at marketing. When actually, I really believe that we need to chill out, slow down and adopt acceptance of where we are right now and see that we're doing our best, we're working hard, and there's no need for us to know any more than we already know. So if you're feeling like I should know more than I already do, I should be better than this, well, the fact of the matter is you aren't, so that can't be true. And so as I was saying earlier, I moved into another job where I spent 8 glorious years. There were obviously challenges. It was a really big corporate, but then when I moved into a smaller, more regional firm, it didn't quite work out as I had hoped. And it also ended in me crying myself to sleep several nights where I truly was about to leave marketing. I thought, I can't do this. I'm no good. Maybe what they think of me is true. And I just really internalized that. And I think the reason that we internalize these things as marketing managers is that we're usually sort of on our own. Even if you're in a marketing team, you're the only one at your level. So you're either reporting higher or have people lower than you reporting. There's not usually that many peers who are in exactly the same boat. And if you have got peers, maybe their motivation levels differ, maybe they're really driven, or maybe they make your imposter syndrome feel even worse because you think, well, why aren't they worrying about this stuff? And maybe there's some competitive energy going on. So this is just all the stuff that I've experienced in the past. But the fact of the matter is that everything that I've been through, every stage I went through, whether it was being rejected from jobs, leaving jobs crying, campaigns failing, things not going how I wanted them to, they all led me to become the marketer I am today. So those failings really built up my personality, my character, and my abilities. So you can't beat yourself up for things that have gone wrong because really they're making you who you are. I actually bumped into a friend literally today who's just left her job and she's so anxious about it, so worried about how others are going to perceive her. And it's just so hard to hear because it's like, you don't see that in a year, you're going to look back and be so happy that you made that brave step forward. You are brave for making that choice. It is so hard to leave a workplace when it's not working out for you. Okay, I just want to make a little point here that I feel like this video is really crap, which is so perfect because that's what I'm talking about. This always seems to happen. I'll talk about a topic that I feel like is on people's minds and the same is happening to me at that point. But what is different today is that I don't actually mind if this video is not great because I see the bigger picture that hopefully you'll listen to my other episodes and be like, oh, that one's kind of good. And also I know that I have a brilliant video editor who will trim out all the rubbish things that I just did, or maybe you might leave in some of the embarrassing running around trying to make the footage better. But the point is, I have perspective. Me not doing a great video or me failing in my sales targets for the month for my business doesn't reflect on who I am as a person. It's not going to make me happier about who I am. It might have some downsides. It might be negative for my financial targets, but it isn't affecting how I perceive myself. And that is what I really want you to question in yourself. How much of how you achieve and perform is leading to how you identify as a person? So question yourself that. Out of 10, how do you rate yourself if you fail at something? And that can be at work, that can be at home. How do you feel about yourself as an identity, as a person when you fail? And really working to change that. So not only liking yourself when you perform, but also caring and loving yourself when you don't perform. I didn't make as many sales in August with my course as I usually do. And hopefully that's seasonal, everyone's on holiday. But I'm just questioning, I wonder why that was. I'm not beating myself up. I definitely wasn't as active in my marketing. So there's no need for me to be hard on myself. Let's talk about the biggest reason why I think people feel like they're bad at marketing. And I truly believe that it's because the systems aren't set up in our businesses. So it's like we're expected to do the strategy, implement all the tactics, report and measure, and do all of the sales admin tasks that we're bombarded with every day. But that just isn't realistic. That's like the job of 20 people. So what happens is business owners, oh, what the hell was that? Something just fell in my utility room. I think it was a broom. This is such a jumpy video for me. I'm like getting sidetracked so much. What was I even saying? Oh my God. So I think what happens is leaders and marketers themselves get really inspired by what big brands are doing. And they think, oh, we can do that. Let's just be bootstrappy and let's get our hands dirty and let's do all that stuff. Not realizing that you literally can't, that what goes behind those incredible campaigns, those integrated marketing systems is a huge team, loads of agencies and the right budget. So what I always say to marketers is if you're on your own and you don't have the best marketing budget, the best you can hope to be is the customer insights department and maybe brand building and a tiny bit of campaign work. You're going to find out what it is that customers care about and help your business to better align with that. That is the truest form of marketing there can possibly be. And in my 6-week marketing strategy course, the B2B Breakthrough Academy, this is what I help marketers come home to. So I'm not going to bang on about the course too much, but I just truly found that I felt crap at marketing because there was so much lingo out there that I didn't understand. There were so many people talking about so many different things. And all of the courses I'd taken, they didn't seem like they were linked to my business. And I would leave thinking like, yeah, but what do I actually do? So I built the course with you in mind, the frazzled, overwhelmed, misunderstood, low budget marketer who just wants to step up, create a strategy that actually makes sense. And so a lot of it, and this is coming back to my point, a lot of it is about simplifying. What is realistic for us to do? Most of the students who've been through B2B Breakthrough Academy with me, they're now doing less marketing activities, but they've ramped up the investment behind them. They've secured extra budget from their leaders. They've stepped up to get assertive. They've gotten the respect that they always deserved, and they're not taking no for an answer. Yes, they still respect their leaders and they're doing what these people want for their businesses, but they're not doormats. They're not being walked all over. They're explaining why being trapped on the marketing task wheel, doing a bunch of pointless tasks is not making the most of their resource as a marketer. So if you are interested in just learning a bit more about it, you can download my 6 stages to a marketing strategy. Who knows, it's free. This may be all you need to get you on track. It outlines what you need to do to create your 6-stage marketing strategy without the fluff, without the jargon, without the nonsense. And there's a little video training in there to help you get started. Have a little look. I've linked that in the show notes and you can basically find it everywhere in all my links, my bios, all that stuff. So by creating a marketing strategy that's realistic with what we can actually achieve, then we can start to see that, oh, it's not me that's bad at marketing. It's that we don't have the resources. We don't have the budget that we need. And when we talk about budget, we don't mean ad spend. We don't mean the budget behind this activity. I mean budget to outsource stuff. Like if you're going to buy a new CRM system and it's £200 a month on a subscription and you've got to implement it. Well, no, you can't implement that. If you don't know how to implement a customer relationship management software as a marketer and build all the email flows and set up all the automations and design all the emails and write all the copy and do all the landing pages and create the funnels, you are not crap at marketing. You are just a person who can't do it all. So your leaders may be making you feel terrible about yourself. Why would we outsource that? You can do that. We don't need more budget. I'm not giving you more budget until you show me a return on what you've already done. It's nonsense. It's absolutely not true. You have to be able to have the resources you need. And I am going to talk about baking again. Like, imagine someone saying, oh, you just make the bread. I'll give you some flour, but you're not having anything else. It's like, well, you can't have it then. You can't have bread. I get really mad when I talk about that stuff because I'm sick of leaders just trying to get you to do stuff that is not possible. Let me give you my rundown of what I do think makes a good marketer so that you can have a think and go, is that me? The first one is that you would be detail orientated. I feel like the strongest signal that someone is a great marketer is their attention to detail. And that is not just spelling typos or spotting issues in something ready for print, which hopefully technology has enabled us no matter how we process the world with our minds. I know there's limitations for people with different brains than others, but ultimately today we have the tools to help us be detail oriented. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, oh, you can spell really well or you can check for typos. I mean, like, your brain thinks of the details. I am not able to think of an isolated technique in marketing. I have to think of the bigger picture. For example, I'm speaking at an event in a couple of weeks. You should go. It's free to go. It's in London, the Technology for Marketing conference. And they asked me to speak there. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do a speaker session. I'm not just going to create the slides. Then I'm like, okay, let's partner. So, okay, I'll post some content for them. I've become a media partner. Okay, what am I giving to the delegates? Right, okay, let's get my branding involved at the overall event. How can I promote it to my newsletter? You might have had an email from me talking about this event. And I cannot stop thinking about all the little details surrounding this event. I'm even thinking about, while I'm there, how's that going to work with networking? How can I maximize the content that's created there? How can I chop that down? How can I interact with people after the event? That is what I mean by detail orientated. No matter what you're doing, you're thinking of everything. I've sent an email out. Are the links working? Like, it's almost painful sometimes. You can't switch it off and you just want to maximize opportunity to connect and resonate with customers. That's the first one. Another really good sign that you're an excellent marketing person, and I mean this as a sense of a generalist marketer like me, I'm not a specialist, I'm generalist, is that you're really good at overseeing. And you don't really enjoy the doing on all tasks. Like, I really enjoy creating my emails, I enjoy posting my content a bit, but I much more enjoy seeing a plan come together and orchestrating other people. I'm really good at like keeping on top of it all, making sure everyone has what they've got, briefing them properly. When I'm giving feedback, I'm spotting missed opportunities, asking for this, asking for that, and I can really make everything happen. And so one of the reasons you might be feeling like you're bad at marketing is that you haven't been given that opportunity to oversee multiple agencies, multiple partners, and bring everything together and make things happen. You're just stuck on the task wheel doing millions of things. And yeah, you're great at running all those millions of things, but there's no momentum. So you're doing all the stuff and you're keeping on top of the deadlines, but it's not leading anywhere. And that, I think, is why people get stuck. You're also really good at communicating. And again, from a recognition that we are all very different. Some people do not like being on camera or on live Zoom calls. I know people who prefer to be camera off. You do you. I'm very comfortable. I find it a lot easier to talk to people. And others may prefer to send a really detailed email. But ultimately, we're very good at communicating. We're good at getting a point across. We're good at writing briefs. And again, we have AI now. You don't have to be a literal good writer these days, but your brain knows how to convey something to somebody. And that obviously linked in then with how we communicate with our customers. You inherently, deeply, if you listen, know that marketing is about behavior change. We are helping people to change their decisions on how they buy and deciding to choose us instead, deciding to stay with us. And this is honestly why I hate so much the marketing's been overcomplicated. I love that I have no degree. Like, I am Chartered Institute of Marketing qualified, just in case you're worried about buying my course, because who's this lunatic just talking about marketing? But I came from sales. My job was just to find out what prospects wanted. If I didn't hit the nail on the head with my messaging in what I was saying to them, I wouldn't get anywhere. So I started to learn that communicating with people to find out what they're struggling with, finding ways you can help them, and then having the product to back that is the purest form of marketing. And everything else is just peripheral. What campaigns you do, what channels you invest in, it's all pointless if you can't convey that. And so, like, if you're in a company where there's only really, and this is probably quite rare, say that you're like in a company where there's only 50 companies you could realistically sell to anyway, why would you invest in loads of marketing channels? Just have direct comms with them. Like, the best thing you can do in the world is be directly in contact with people to find out what they need, get in front of them, get these meetings. Whereas if you need to address thousands of people, yeah, we need to think, well, what's the best way to get a mass message out to those guys? And then look at marketing strategies to back that. So try and reflect on what you feel marketing is. Is it just tactics, just a bunch of stuff? Are you saying, okay, marketing is sending out emails, No, marketing is finding out what your customers want or your target audience, helping your business to become that, and then encouraging them to look at what your company's doing, getting the right message so that they see that it would be beneficial to work with you instead of someone else, and then really finding ways to get in front of them as much as you can and take them down a path. At each stage of that path, we're communicating what is going to help them make that next leap. So I'll just leave you with this. If you have that driving passion, if you have been like me as a kid where advertising just made you really excited, where you dissect every message that you see on it's actually exhausting. Like, everywhere I go, I'm just like, why did they write that? Where was that coming from? What's that about? That's rubbish. That's awesome. So if you're feeling imposter syndrome right now, I just need you to recognize that there are so many thousands of marketers exactly like you, feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, feeling alone, feeling like it's them, feeling like their company is right and they are wrong. Please keep coming back to this channel to make sure that you know that you're not alone, that you're with me, that I've probably felt way worse than you. I'm not going to sit here and make out like I've had everything figured out. I've definitely struggled, and I'm telling you, it's part of the beauty of the journey, because when things get good, like today, nearly 20 years into my career, I genuinely feel zero imposter syndrome about my marketing abilities. I know that I can't do deep, detail-oriented SEO. I know that I can't design a logo myself. I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. And finally, because I don't work within a company anymore, and because I'm not consulting anymore and my marketing is making sales for my business, I can finally say marketing isn't fluffy. Marketing has built my business to be fully inbound, and that is all down to brand building, great content, funnels, automations, tech, messaging, all of that stuff. And it's just finally, once and for all, made me realize I never needed to listen to those like marketing haters calling us the colouring in team. It's like, you're holding us back by not investing in marketing properly, by not allowing us the time to be strategic. You are holding me back and I am bored of it. You have to get this passion back and feel it in your heart and your stomach. It's usually in the stomach for me. Like, this is what I'm doing and no one's getting in my way. So what are you going to do to get yourself to be more strategic? Like now, it doesn't have to be today, but soon. What are you going to do? You need to be able to step up and say to these leaders, no more. Let me lead this. Let me show you what strategic marketing can do for our business. Trust in me. And actually, module 1 in my marketing strategy course, the review process, so many leaders have reached out to me to say, Jade, like, I cannot believe how much our marketing manager has stepped up as a result of this course already. It's just so great to hear that marketers are getting taken more seriously really quickly after taking the course. So please comment with an emoji. to tell me how you feel about yourself when it comes to marketing, and maybe even describe that feeling. Are you feeling good about your abilities? Are you needing a bit of work? You feeling imposter syndrome? I imagine I'm going to have a lot of head exploding emojis. So drop me an emoji, explain how you're feeling right now at work, and I look forward to seeing you in comments. Please make sure that you subscribe to the podcast, or if you're watching, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and just make sure you like the video too so that I can get YouTube famous. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Oh, don't miss my future videos. I'm going to be doing a 6-part series that is going to be a special B2B Breakthrough Academy focus. Now that we're going into the new school year in September, I am going to do a focus on every single module. And so we're going to start with how to conduct your marketing review in my next video for the podcast. Thank you so much and have a great day. Oh my gosh, that was so hard. In this example, I was the right page. Come on! My mind is not working. Is it oriented? Orientated. Detail orientated.